Hi. So I wanted to jump on today and make a quick video about something that has been completely life-changing for me and my sisters and other women that I've spoken with. And my mind is still blown at how this is not a concept that most women and girls of menstruating age are aware of. And this is something called living life in sync with your menstrual cycle. So there were questions that I was constantly asking myself about why I, at some points, had lots of energy. I could go for long runs, I could do hard workouts. Other times I was completely exhausted. Sometimes I would crave certain foods, more comfort foods. Other times I was in the mood for smoothies and salads. Even personality-wise, sometimes I just seemed more outgoing and sometimes I was more introverted. And I guess I just wasn't able to really pinpoint my true nature and my likes and dislikes and my ability to stick with a certain workout schedule, where sometimes it seemed really beneficial and sometimes it seemed like it was just exhausting. So just a few years ago, I was introduced to this concept of living life in sync with your menstrual cycle. And I learned, despite the fact that I have 2 degrees in science and healthcare, and I studied a lot of science in high school, and I'm just always interested in health-related information, I had to relearn the menstrual cycle, and I realized how it is quite a roller coaster ride in the extent of how the hormones rise and fall and then rise again and then fall. And there are different hormones at play in different amounts, and certain things can influence those hormones. But effectively, each day of the cycle, which is relatively a month long, give or take, is going to be a slightly different experience for the woman than the day before and the day after. And this is something that is so I'm sure our ancestors knew this and talked about it in circles and passed down ancient wisdom, but I do believe that it has somewhat been lost and obscured, and women are expected to hustle and grind and perform just as men in this 9 to 5 culture grind. Incidentally, men have a 24-hour hormonal cycle, so the corporate workday actually works out perfect for them, where they have energy spikes, testosterone spikes in the morning. They can get up, they can work out, they can perform at work, and then later on in the day they have a little bit of an estrogen spike, so that makes them want to be a little more social, and that correlates perfectly with happy hours and socializing with coworkers in the afternoon. However, for women, that schedule really only works just like a couple days a month, and the other days it can be really challenging to stick to that level of performance and just expect that much from yourself and have others expect it from you. So learning this concept and learning and deep diving into it a little bit more in detail has completely changed the way that I show up for myself, and having just basic knowledge about what to expect, what phase I'm in, what phase is coming, how I can adjust my life, how I can make little changes. Of course, there are some things that are out of our control, and for most of us, we can't make huge changes, but just having this internal guidance and this compassion for ourselves, knowing that, you know, this week I'm a little tired, but next week I'm gonna have this big burst of energy, so maybe I can plan something then, or this is actually a good time to push myself at this workout today, or maybe this is a good time to do something more gentle, or really just not push myself because it will be counterproductive. So I just feel like this knowledge is so important and life-changing for women and girls. I wish I had known it since I was 13, which was the age that I had my first menstruation. And I feel like it would have changed so many things for me. And I wouldn't have put so much pressure on myself to constantly be pushing myself. And I would have given myself grace and compassion when I needed to rest. And I would have been able to also share this information with those around me and let them know, hey, this is the phase that I'm in, and at this time, like, my body is telling me this is what I need, which is totally respectable and understandable. And when you know that you're not crazy, or whatever people like to label the changing moods and that women have, it really is your hormones dictating to your body what your needs are, and they're ever changing. So because I became so interested in this concept, and it really changed my life and just gave me so much knowledge and power to show up in a completely different way, my sister and I created a beautiful course to teach girls and women how this actually works in much greater detail, and to give all kinds of suggestions about workouts and lifestyle and foods to eat at that time that are beneficial to you, and mantras and meditations and tips for relating to others and improving your intimate relationships, all to optimize your life and to be the best version of you given what your body is doing at that time. So if you're interested in more information, we have a link below to the course. We also have a link to a free PDF, which summarizes a lot of information in the course. It's a beautiful PDF, very easy to follow. You can print it out and you can learn just simple things that are beneficial to you in each phase of your cycle and why. And I truly believe, even now that I'm in a postpartum phase, and previously pregnancy, and previous to that another postpartum, and previous to that another pregnancy, it's just given me this insight as to women being cyclical creatures. And even though I'm not cycling at this moment in time, I still know and I'm aware that my hormones are different at this point, and they're also influencing how I show up, and they're also influencing my needs. So it has just completely changed even how I approached pregnancy, how I approached postpartum, the grace and compassion that I can give myself, knowing that certain hormones as a breastfeeding mom now are going to override other hormones, and eventually I will start cycling again, and I will be informed and empowered with this information to be the healthiest mom for my kids, and to know, hey, today is actually a day where I really need to take a nap. Or, you know what, today is a great day to go on an adventure, and I can plan my life as a mom according to my cycle to show up in a way that's optimal and a way that honors myself. And when I'm honoring myself, I feel as though I'm also honoring my family and giving them the best of me. So I'm excited to get this information out. I want to make more videos in the future. I know this concept has started to get out there in social media spaces, but I still feel like when I mention it to family members and friends, like it's the first time they're hearing of it. So I truly want to make it my mission to get in front of more people and just share and make girls' lives so much easier, especially when you're so little and there's so much pressure on you nowadays to show up in school and in sports. And I feel as though if moms knew this information, they could teach their daughters, and if daughters knew this information, then they wouldn't have so much pressure on them, and they wouldn't feel so stressed, and they would know when it's time to rest and when it's time to really push. So I think that's all I have to say in this video for now, and I'm sure I'll be back with more. There's so much more information to add. This is just such a life-changing concept, and I feel like it can benefit girls and women worldwide. So thank you so much for watching. Feel free to click on the links below, and I will see you in another video. Have a great day. Bye.